genel izleyici kitlesi için uygundur.
Saat Farkı'ndan merhabalar. Farklı ülkelerden konuklarla her hafta farklı perspektiflere yer vermeye çalışıyoruz. Dünyayı Ekotürk ekranında buluşturuyoruz. Bu hafta stüdyoda kıymetli bir konuğum var. Kendisi İstanbul'da, İstanbul ziyaretinde bir röportaj daha yapmak istedim. Çok yakın arkadaşım, meslektaşım Pakistan'dan Saqib Tanveer bizlerle Independent Urdu servisinde gazetecilik yapıyor. Bölgeyi de yakından takip eden bir isim. İstanbul seyahatinde stüdyomuza geldi ve kendisiyle biraz Pakistan'ın son durumunu konuşacağız. Özellikle Şubat ayında oldukça tartışmalı bir seçim yapıldı ülkede. Ardından Şahbaz Şerif tekrar ikinci kez göreve geldi. Başbakan olarak seçildi. İmran Han bir yandan eski lider hapiste. Hala hapis cezasının devam ettiğini biliyoruz. Oldukça tartışmalı aylar geçirdi aslında Pakistan kamuoyu. Biraz seçim sonrası atmosferi konuşacağız ülkedeki. Aynı zamanda ekonomik durumu konuşacağız. Afganistanlıların, özellikle Afgan göçmenlerin bir yerinden gönderilmesi, bir deport edilmesi süreci vardı. Biraz onunla ilgili detayları konuşacağız. Türkiye-Pakistan ilişkilerine değineceğiz. Saqib Tanveer, hoş geldin.
Thank you so much for having me, Feyza.
Thank you very much. It's good to see you in Istanbul, also in our studio. Well,
Pleasure all mine.
Thank you. There is a lot to talk, Saqib. Let's start with the elections, actually, because you had the very controversial elections earlier this year in February. Imran Han, former prime minister, who is still very popular, he is still in jail, but his popularity has been growing actually, despite the fact that he is in jail, and he was banned from contesting in elections. So Shahbaz Sharif was elected prime minister for second term. What happened during the elections, after the elections? Can you tell us more about the atmosphere? Are you back to political stability again after the elections, do you think?
Yeah, I think political stability is the most important factor here. Pakistan had elections on the February 8th. Just 2 months ago, we've had the new government sworn in, the Prime Minister has come in, the cabinet has come in. So we feel that there is some sort of stability that has crept back in Pakistani system, but somehow we feel that it's not a sustainable certainty or stability, because the former Prime Minister Imran Khan, he's still in jail, he's still very much in the news, he's growing popular very much by the day, as you mentioned. So there is a lot of uncertainty regarding Pakistan, but the most important issue for Pakistan right now is the economy.
Yeah, we will talk more about that.
So the current government is currently working on stabilizing the economy. The outgoing caretaker government, they did take a few steps to help the economy, but overall Pakistan is inching towards stability, but that stability is very fragile. What happens to Imran Khan in the coming months is the most important question regarding that. If he does not come out, or if he comes out, then he would surely, go out on the streets, make problems for the government. But if he doesn't and he stays in the jail, then I don't know how sustainable that is for the current government or for the military establishment in Pakistan.
I thought they would keep him in jail forever. Is there any possibility, a big possibility that he can be out?
There has been some amount of backlash coming in from the judiciary. 6 judges of Islamabad High Court, they wrote a letter to the Supreme Court saying that they are under pressure to give verdicts for one side. And many people believe that they are actually saying that the military establishment is twisting their arm to give verdicts against Imran Khan. So now they have bought some leverage after that letter, and people believe that ever since they've written that letter, a lot of decisions have come in the favor of Imran Khan, and there is this hope among Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, Imran Khan's party, that soon judiciary will exonerate him or at least leave him out on the bail. Also, they're banking on Donald Trump returning to the power, because Imran Khan certainly believes that Republicans and Donald Trump is a friend to them. Yeah. And when Donald Trump would come back to the power, he would surely make sure that Imran Khan comes out of the jail. Yeah.
Saqib, what really happened? I mean, this is an old discussion, and there has been lots of controversies, conspiracies around Imran Khan, and surely he has been blaming the U.S. The U.S. was behind his removal, especially after his stance on Russia following the Ukrainian invasion. Is it a conspiracy, and also in Turkey, actually, a lot of people believe that the U.S. was somehow involved in this coup, let's say, against Imran Khan. So what really happened? What is the fact? Do we know anything like factual, or these are only conspiracies still?
Well, I can't speak to the current situation or the previous situation regarding the American conspiracy of ousting Imran Khan, because unfortunately, as a journalist, we have to speak according to the facts, and we do not have any concrete fact that can support Imran Khan's claim, but we do have a history of American establishment or American CIA interfering in Pakistan and dislodging the governments. Their own documents that they've declassified, they have, made startling revelations regarding interference in Pakistan. But the current episode, I mean, Imran Khan's conduct regarding this episode about the whole conspiracy and America interfering, it was very shady to begin with. Initially, he said that there is a country that conspired against him, and then he named the ambassador, then he named the guy, then he named a few people inside Pakistan, and then recently his own lieutenant, his own confidant, he said that apart from America, even the Saudi Arabians were against Imran Khan, and they were instrumental in ousting him. But it's a fact that the day Russia attacked Ukraine, Imran Khan landed in Russia.
Right.
And I'm sure that did not settle well with the Americans, that he was cozying up to the Russians while all the West was against Russia. So that's one factor that, the US diplomatic channels, they also communicated this to Pakistan, that they're not happy with how Imran Khan was in Russia, how he was cozying up to Putin. When he landed in Russia, he said, "What a time to be in Russia." And that was a very strange statement to come from him, especially when they had attacked Ukraine. So there was a lot of discontent from America ever since President Joe Biden came into power. He's never called Imran Khan. Imran Khan has stated this many times that he's waiting for his call, but he's never called him. But when the new Prime Minister came in, Shehbaz Sharif, President Biden wrote him a letter. So yeah, that's where the things stand.
So I was just going to ask you, is there any major change in terms of foreign policy regarding Russia, regarding US? I mean, how are the relations? Do you spot any major foreign policy change following the new government?
There may be slight tweaks in foreign policy, but Pakistan essentially is part of the American bloc. Pakistan cannot move away from the American bloc. It is down to how Pakistan's economy is shaped. Our economy is linked to dollars, American dollars. Our military security is linked to the Americans. The most cherished piece of technology, military technology that we have is F-16.
Yeah.
And that F-16 was bought from the Americans, and all our technology and software, they are related to that. Although in the recent past, we've tried to move away from the US and have bought a lot of Chinese equipment. In fact, we are using Chinese GPS satellite now. But America is an important part of Pakistan's foreign policy, and even we could get, the Russian oil. We did try to get Russian oil, and we did get it. But these are small overtures. Pakistan essentially is an American ally and would remain an American ally. This is what the Pakistan's military wants, and unfortunately, whatever the military wants, that's what happened in Pakistan.
Yeah, actually, I was gonna ask later, but let me ask it now since we are talking about that. There is this famous saying, of course, every country has an army, but in Pakistan, an army has a country.
Yeah.
So we always talk about this military's involvement in politics. Also, it was the case in Turkey, but it's still a very much obvious in Pakistan. So what are the factors that make Pakistan's military a very, very, very powerful political force? And I'm asking you this because you also have a very impressive, let me say that, YouTube video.
Yeah.
The headline is "How Turkey Stopped Military from Interfering in Politics."
Yeah.
So you take Turkey as an example. How did they succeed? Turkey succeed? Why Pakistan couldn't achieve this, for instance, and do you see any chance Pakistan can do that? And as I said, what are the factors that contribute to this military's strong presence in the politics?
Yeah, it's a very complex question. Unfortunately, Pakistan, when Pakistan came into being in 1947, it was immediately thrown into a war. So Pakistan has been a security state ever since it came into being. We had our first war with India in 1948. We've had several wars with them in 1965, 1971, 1999, and a few skirmishes here and there. So Pakistan has a real security need, or at least that's what the military wants people to think, that Pakistan has a security need, and for that security need, you need us. But apart from that security element, like Turkey, where I was researching on that video, I came to know that the Turkish army, it also had a lot of influence in the economy. It had its own companies that were operating in the economy. It has its own industrial complex. And the same is the case with Pakistan. Pakistani military has a very important stronghold on the economy. In fact, the most important apex body of Pakistan, which was formed last year to facilitate foreign direct investment, is the SIFC. It's an investment facilitation council, special investment facilitation council, and Pakistan's army chief has a seat on the table, and he is an important element into. He's an important part of it, primarily because the military establishment says that a lot of foreign direct investment has to come through with the prism of national security angle. So if any company is coming into Pakistan, any country is investing in Pakistan, the military has to see if it's not hampering Pakistan's national security interests. So they have to, say yes or no to that investment. That's why they have a say on the table. They are there to make sure that everything goes smooth. They have a strong hold on Pakistani politics. The ISI, Pakistan's intelligence agency, it's known to be interfering in politics, especially the recent cases against Imran Khan.
Yeah.
Imran Khan has recently accused the army chief of, saying that if anything happens to my wife, then the army chief would be directly responsible for it. And it's not just Imran Khan. People don't realize that Imran Khan he also came into power in 2018 because of the military. Military brought him into power. So he was considered a military stooge. And the current prime minister and his brother, Nawaz Sharif and Shehbaz Sharif, they were ousted by the military. So essentially, it's the military's stronghold in the country. Unfortunately, they decide who's going to come into power, and they decide who's going to go out of the power. They decide who is going to stay in the jail. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to learn from how Turkey got rid of military's influence, but that's how it is.
And you don't think that it will change anytime soon, I guess?
I don't think so. Pakistan has an identity crisis. Pakistanis really don't. The ethos of Pakistan is very strange in terms of towards democracy. The Turks, they have a strong love for democracy. The military made sure that there is secularism and democracy in the country.
Yeah.
By demolishing the democracy at times, but in Pakistan, the public perception towards the military and public perception towards the democracy is very strange. So I don't see that happening. Yeah.
I see your point. Saqib, how is the economy, by the way? We just touched upon that, but we didn't go deeper.
By the way, your tea is really good.
I'm glad you're enjoying it. I know that you like tea, Turkish tea.
There is a meme in Pakistan. Pakistan shot down an Indian plane in 2019, and they captured the pilot. They served him tea and they recorded him on the video, and he said that the tea is fantastic, and that's a meme in Pakistan. Yeah.
Okay, afiyet olsun. I'm glad you're enjoying. So let's talk a bit about economy.
Yeah.
There is this loan agreement from the IMF. How is that going? Also, there are some expected investments from the Gulf, namely Saudi Arabia. Is the economy on the right track?
It's a temporary patch. It's a cycle that Pakistan gets into every 5 years. Pakistan goes into an IMF program, spends 3 years in that program, and then goes out of the program, spends 2 years of growth, and then essentially comes back to when the next government comes in. The kitty is empty. There's no foreign exchange. There's no dollar in the kitty. Then they have to go back to the IMF, and that's what's happening right now. The previous outgoing government of Imran Khan made sure that when they were going out, they emptied the foreign exchange reserves. We had a loss of $6 billion in a matter of 2 months when Imran Khan was in power. So the next government came in. It was very difficult for them. They had to renegotiate with IMF. They had to reschedule the loans, and that program is going to end in June, essentially. And after June, Pakistan is going to go back to IMF and negotiate a new program. And this program, we are expecting it would be a much bigger program, and that would make sure that Pakistan also goes towards some sort of growth. But we're also approaching friendly countries. Saudi Arabia, we've approached. Previously, we used to approach them for loans and grants, but now Saudi Arabia has said that they would not issue free lunches. They would only invest or do trade. So now what they're doing is that they have a $5 billion package of investment coming into Pakistan, and Pakistan is also reaching other countries. I don't know why Pakistan doesn't reach out to Turkey. I mean, that's a question that maybe you can answer, that why Turkey and Pakistan do not
Maybe Turkey
do well. Yeah.
has its own needs, financial, economic needs, so yeah.
Probably that's why, but Pakistan and Turkey have very good, I'm sure, trade relations. But yeah, Pakistan has a huge problem in terms of foreign exchange reserves. Pakistan imports more than it exports. That's why there is a current account deficit.
Yeah.
The dollars are not in the economy. And that's why we have to go back to IMF again and again.
I see. Saqib, I also want to talk about, because it is a very relevant topic in Turkey as well, refugee issue, Afghan refugees. You have the problem of Afghan refugees and the deportations of these refugees, especially since Taliban took power in Afghanistan, has started in November, I guess, if I'm not wrong. So Pakistan began a nationwide operation to deport over 1.7 million supposedly illegal Afghans. So, you know, human rights and refugee organizations have been worried. They have been criticizing, warning the country. I wonder what was the debate about, what was the main motivation behind these deportations? I mean, was it more like security or economy? Could you tell us more about the deportation and the motivation behind that?
Yeah, there is a context to it. Pakistan has been hosting Afghan refugees very graciously since the 80s. You know, Afghans were an important part of Pakistani economy. They had their, you know, they lived in the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province, which is the northwestern province of Pakistan. They had their business in Karachi, they had their businesses in Islamabad, and they were essentially Pakistani citizens because they've spent generation there, you know, people that have been born in Pakistan. So there was a lot of connection between Pakistan and Afghanistan through those refugees and people settling in Pakistan. But the current establishment, when they came into power, they decided that they were going to repatriate all the Afghan refugees back to Afghanistan. And the excuse that was used was that Pakistan has hosted them for long, and maybe currently, you know, there are Pakistan's security needs, and it becomes difficult for Pakistan to manage their security, essentially because, you know, there has been a lot of terrorist incidents in Pakistan where Afghan nationals were involved. So that was the excuse that was given, which I don't buy. I mean, we've hosted them for long. It was very good on our part. We should have hosted them for long. They should have stayed in Pakistan for as long as they should have. They are our neighbors. But that is one thing that has created a lot of tension between Pakistan and the current Afghan regime, which is the Taliban. And this policy, mind you, just before Pakistan announced this policy, the previous army chief and the previous ISI chief, they had a very different approach to it. In fact, they were planning to rehabilitate a lot of Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan officials back into Pakistan. So there was this policy change, a 180-degree shift by Pakistani establishment, and now they've been sent back. The last figures in April that we got were around 5 lakh people have gone back to Afghanistan so far. And Pakistan has stated that this policy is not just for Afghan refugees, but anybody who's living in Pakistan illegally will be sent back.
I see. Saqib, okay, there are so many other issues that I want to talk, but since we touched upon also, let's discuss a bit about the relations between Taliban and Pakistan. Where do the relations stand now? How do you see, especially following the retake of Taliban in Afghanistan?
They are at their lowest. When Taliban came into power, people thought that Pakistan's proxy is back in power because historically Pakistan and Taliban have enjoyed very good relationships. And America used to come to Pakistan to make, to convince Taliban to come back to the negotiating table. But ever since they've come into power, there has been a lot of tension between the two sides. I mean, the last caretaker Prime Minister of Pakistan, he came out and said openly that Afghan regime is involved in giving safe havens to people who are attacking inside Pakistan. The number of attacks, terrorist attacks inside Pakistan last year have increased compared to previous years. So Pakistan has this grievance that ever since the Taliban government came into power, Pakistan has been on the receiving end. So, and Taliban have openly said that Pakistan should share their concerns with us in private, not in public. But Pakistan has had, you know, especially this policy of when Pakistan announced that the Afghan refugees would be repatriated, Taliban said that this is a very shameless sort of a shameless policy from Pakistan. I'm paraphrasing. That's not the exact quote that they use. But that's it. That's how it is. Pakistan believes that terrorist incidents have increased. There has been a lot of smuggling of dollars from Pakistan to Afghanistan, and That's hurting Pakistan's economy. Pakistan is not getting what Taliban promised to them. That is that Taliban or Afghan land will not be used for attacks against Pakistan, and that is happening. And Pakistan also believes that the Taliban regime is getting closer to India, which Pakistan doesn't like.
Yeah, yeah.
So there is a lot of issues that have become a bone of contention between the two countries.
Yeah, speaking of the tension, also tension with Iran and also India has been on the rise recently. So I want to ask you, I know it will be tough to pick maybe, but what is the biggest security threat to your country, do you think? I mean, is it like because a lot of people from time to time they expect a nuclear kind of major conflict with India, or also the tension with Iran has been sometimes rising. So what is the biggest, in your view, security threat to Pakistan? What is the biggest risk?
It's not from the outside, it's from the inside. It's the internal political cohesion, internal political stability, and Pakistan's economy. That's the biggest threat to Pakistan. It's an existential threat right now for Pakistan, especially in terms of economy. India and Iran, they're never going to attack Pakistan. Pakistan is never going to attack them. In fact, historically, all the wars with India were started by Pakistan, not by India. So Pakistan doesn't have to feel threatened from India. India does not want to attack Pakistan. India, in fact, sees China as its adversary right now. So, and Iran, there was an incident, and I think both the countries have learned from that incident that there was a Iranian missile strike inside Pakistan. Pakistan responded by striking inside Iranian territory, and now Iranian president will visit Pakistan. In fact, he has visited Pakistan right now. So, there is this element of Pakistan and Iran getting closer to, not closer, but making sure that they coexist, because essentially Pakistan is in the Saudi Arabian camp.
Yeah.
So yeah, there is no major threat from India or Iran. Yeah.
The recent, by the way, conflict in the region between Iran and Israel, because I have seen some reports saying that Pakistan remained silent as the only actually Muslim country who has nuclear power. What do you think about this criticism, let's say? And what is the main motivation, by the way, for Pakistan sustaining its nuclear program despite the economic turmoil? What is the main motivation for that?
So Pakistan is in a very tricky position right now. Pakistan was not silent. There were statements given by the Foreign Office or even the Prime Minister. We have been very vocal about Gaza. Whatever is going on in Gaza, Pakistan has condemned it. We are only very few countries in the world who do not have diplomatic relations with Israel.
Yeah.
But recently, after the Abraham Accords, a lot has changed, and the allied countries of Pakistan, especially the Gulf countries, they've been pushing Pakistan to to go quiet on Israel and not to talk much about them. But Pakistan has very historical relations with Palestine, and nothing is going to change that. It will be a very hard sell for any regime, any establishment to sell Israel to Pakistani people. They would never accept Israel as a state, or even Israel as an occupying power in Palestine. But there has been a slight change in terms of how Pakistan perceives Israel. Initially, Pakistan's policy was that Pakistan was never going to accept Israel as a state. So they thought that all of the territory was a Palestinian territory and Israel is occupying all of the land. But previous caretaker Prime Minister, he gave a statement where he said that the world should move towards two-state solution. So which was a deviation from Pakistan's foreign policy towards Palestine, because earlier we used to say that all of the land belongs to Palestine, but now we've said that it's a two-state solution. Israel and Palestine can coexist. So that's a tricky situation for Pakistan, especially after Abraham Accords. Pakistan's policy would largely depend on how Saudi Arabia would react to Abraham Accords and how Saudi Arabia would react to United States convincing them to accept Israel and to have relations with them. If Saudi Arabia has those relations with Israel, then maybe Pakistan may follow the suit. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Let's talk about something softer in the end. I know that Turkish series dramas, TV series are very popular in Pakistan. Are you watching any of that? And I think also there is this recent cooperation between Turkey and Pakistan. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, I do watch Turkish series. The recent one that I watched was As the Crow Flies. I watched it essentially because we are journalists and it's related
Yes.
to the media. But Pakistanis love Turkish dramas. I mean, their love for Ertugrul, Pakistani Prime Minister, ex-Prime Minister Imran Khan, he has been praising Ertugrul series a lot. He made sure that it was dubbed into Urdu and run on the state television. Prior to that, there was another. There were a couple of dramas which were very famous. One was Hurram Sultan, I guess, if I'm not wrong. And there was another drama called Ishq-e Mamnu, which was very famous in Pakistan.
I watched that as well, yeah.
Currently, there is a joint partnership going on. There is a drama series on Sultan Salahuddin Ayyubi that's going on. That's a joint partnership between Turkey and Pakistan. So yeah, Pakistanis love Turkish cinema.
Is it on air yet?
I don't think so it's air yet. I saw a trailer a few days ago, but I
Okay.
don't think it's on air yet. Yeah.
Okay. Teşekkür ederim Saqib. Thank you very much for joining me.
Pleasure was all mine.
Thank you. Evet, Saat Farkı'nda bu hafta Saqib Tanveer'i ağırladık. Pakistanlı meslektaşım, Independent Urdu servisinden, İslamabad'dan gazeteci meslektaşım Saqib Tanveer bizlerleydi. Biraz Pakistan'ı konuştuk. Pakistan'ın bölge ülkeleriyle ilişkilerini konuştuk. Hindistan'la biraz durumu konuştuk. Pakistan'daki seçimler sonrası ülkedeki siyasi ve ekonomik atmosferi konuştuk. Yine farklı bir konuyla önümüzdeki hafta farklı bir konukla karşınızda olmak dileğiyle. Hoşça kalın.